We're talking and vibing right here on Kingdom Connection.
Kingdom Life Tabernacle, also known as KLT, is growing, and we are expanding our service opportunities with you in mind. Join us for worship at 9:45 a.m. or 11 a.m. Our 9:45 a.m. express service is only 60 minutes. Yes, you heard me right, 60 minutes. Come in and give God an hour and enjoy the remainder of your day. This service is power-packed with the word and worship. Our second service on Sunday starts at 11 a.m., where we allow God to have his way with a time of celebratory praise, deliverance, and prophetic ministry. Both services are Spirit-filled. Listen, and you will never be disappointed at the Kingdom. Lastly, you can join us for Bible study, Walking in the Word, on Thursdays at 6:30. We are conveniently located at 1140 Capitol Circle Southeast, right across from Ultimate Image next to Pop's Attic. There is no dress code and everyone is welcome. Join us on Sundays at 9:45 or 11 a.m. or Thursdays at 6:30 for a time in the Word. Also join us virtually on Facebook. This is Apostle Otis B. Young, and I'm excited about your future right now. Call 692-3205 for more information.
Thank you for tuning in to Kingdom Connections, where I'm your host, Tanisha Reese. And you guys see them, you know them. We have the coolest pastors on this side of Tallahassee. This is part 2. And just like last time, you were telling us about the honey, sir.
Yes.
Go ahead and finish telling us about the honey.
Okay, so my first blunt, my cousin, he had put honey on it. And this honey made the cigar burn real slow.
Okay.
And for this being my first time smoking, I was like, when the cigar gonna end? Because I was real high.
Oh my goodness.
I was crazy high. And
He said when it's gonna end.
I remember
Jesus.
I was so dizzy and I sat down because we was out there in the garage. I remember I sat down on the bucket and my head was spinning. I was real high.
And how old were you again?
I was 13.
Wow.
Yes, 13. So after smoking so much weed and drinking, at the time I started hanging out late. My mother and my grandma would be looking for me sometimes. I would be gone days.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I would be gone days at a time. But they always knew where I was, like right up the road at my auntie house. Somewhere I wasn't too far. I'd be at her house where the other boys was. But we all was doing the same thing, so sometimes I didn't come home. So she would come get me, beat me. I'll beat me right there where I was at, and then take me home.
Yes.
You know, and punish me. My grandma would get me sometimes.
You get it where you did it.
Get it where
Yep.
you. That's what I was back then.
My
Wherever you
goodness.
did it at, that's when you got it at.
Yep.
You know, and so after that, after being disobedient a whole lot of times, my grandma and my mom would just beat me like my grandma had 15 kids.
Wow.
So she had a lot of grandchildren.
Wow.
And I got the most whooping out of all of them.
Oh my God.
I got a whooping every day. If I kid you not, I got a whooping almost every day.
Wow.
Almost every day. So
She whipped you in the
yes,
pastor into your calling.
Yes,
basically.
what I'm talking about.
You say you gonna take this calling voluntarily or involuntarily, but you
That's
gonna
right.
get it. I hear that.
So you know the Bible say don't spare the rod,
She
spoil the
ain't spared the
child.
rod.
They didn't believe in sparing that rod. Trust
Oh
me.
my goodness.
They beat your tail. I'm talking about close down action. Put some water on the belt.
Oh.
Go get about 3 or 4 switches and tie them together.
Yes.
And whatever
Grandma.
switch you didn't pick that wasn't good, they'll still add it to the pile and make you go get more.
Yeah.
So and tie them together, braid them.
Old school.
Even an AC belt that shaped like a 6.
Uh-huh.
And they had it taped together so you can put your hand in the handle.
I remember.
Man.
I was bad, so I remember all of them. I be going through and I'm just like, yep, I got all that.
Yeah.
Pen belts.
And so I got all that. So it got to a point to where whoopings wasn't helping anymore.
Oh.
So I was just stay there and just take it like a man. So they were like, oh, this don't hurt him no more. So we got to take it to another level. So anyway, after sometimes me running off and they're looking for me, sometimes I come home, you know, when I got ready to come home after 2 or 3 days, I started trying to sell drugs. And,
Oh goodness.
it went from it went from marijuana to selling other things, crack cocaine and cocaine and stuff like that. But the marijuana came because there was a field. There was a field that we was introduced to by one of my older siblings, and it was nothing but marijuana plants. And so what happened was, because of that, my older siblings made me watch out while they go get the plants. And this was during one of the days that I was suspended from school, so they would go get the plants or whatever, and I would be the watch out man. But they tried to take advantage of me because I was younger, so they didn't really give me what I wanted for being a watch out man. So when they put the plants up, I started being the rabbit and the deer. I was the one taking the weed from them.
Oh goodness.
So anyway, and I started selling the
Okay.
weed to get my profit. And before my cousin realized that it was me, he started giving it to me because he said, "Well, I'm gonna give you something to take to school, and you sell a little bit at school. I would have sold a little bit at school, and you just bring me this such and such back." It was a rip off, but I still, was doing it,
Cause you was getting yours.
Yeah, because I was
Okay.
getting mine regardless. So my cousin, them, which was his brothers, they was like, "How come you won't give me nothing to sell? How come you won't give me nothing?" He say, "Cause he see the hustle in me. He see the ambition in me, so he gave it to me to sell." So anyway, I did that for a little while, sold the weed, smoked the weed so much until my weed habit became so bad to where I started to take my mom's weed.
Oh wow.
Yeah, she would have weed, and I found a jackpot one day. Like, my mom was smoking good back there, but she didn't smoke with me or nothing. It was just they just smelled good back there in her room, and I want to know where she got that from. And so I would start probing in her room, and I found her the jackpot in her dresser where she would keep the weed in. And I would start just stealing her reefer. Sometimes she gone, I just sit back there, roll me a blunt, and put her weed back
Oh,
up,
my
or whatever
goodness.
the case might be. And so the weed habit started to get so bad to where even my uncle, he would have weed put up in his little room thing that he built on to my grandmama's house, and I would break in and sit there and just smoke his weed.
So
And,
you was not going to school.
Yeah, I was going to school, but a lot of times I was suspended.
Oh, okay.
I got suspended a lot of times out of school because I was bad. I was
Okay.
bad. And so 11th grade, I got kicked out of school.
Okay.
But yeah, so I was bad because I was just skipping school. We were skipping the smoke. We were skipping to go down to Happy Time. We would go get a quote at that age, at 14, 15, we can go get something to drink and smoke. And some of the older people, they was like, they give you what you wanted. They knew you was young, but hey, I ready for you to get it for me, for somebody else. That's what they used to love to say. And so we got what we wanted. We got our weed, we got our drink, and sometimes when we went back to school, they'll smell us or whatever the case might be and suspend us or
Oh,
send
wow.
us to in-school suspension. But a lot of times we got suspended. So it was like
Okay.
the people I was running with, they called us like a gang because we ran together all the time and we grew up together. It was my cousin and a couple of my friends. We grew up together, and they said that we was in some kind of gang, so they didn't give us no chance. Anytime one of us got in trouble, they sent us home. And so that's what happened. I started getting sent home, and I loved to get sent home because I had plenty of reefer at the house, at the time, because we had the plants. With my cousin that was, got the plants from the guy and all that. So I love to get suspended, but my mom, my grandma would beat me till they just, got tired of beating me.
So what was your turning point? Like, what was the point where you found God?
Man,
Because you was in that deep.
Yeah, because I was feeling, yeah. So my turning point came after.
Wait, before you tell me, Is Happy Time still around?
Yes.
Wow.
Happy Time is still around.
Okay, you can continue.
But it's not Happy Time no more. It's Sad Time.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
My goodness. I was just wondering because this place.
It's still around. Yeah.
Wow.
But so fast forward a little bit of my life. I got locked up. I went to boot camp after a couple of detention center visits. Went to jails, and when I went to prison for sale of cocaine, crack cocaine, with intent to sell, and not too far from a church or whatever, they know how to dress it up to send you down the road. And I went down the road. I went to prison, and God began to give me a vision. When I was in prison, and I began to see myself preaching.
Wow.
And it was something that he was always trying to show me, but I never sat down to really get the understanding of what he was doing.
Okay.
Because people kept speaking in my life, man, I don't know what it is about you, but God has his hands on you, and God has a calling on your life. When are you going to stop running? And older people would tell me that. And my grandmother, she knew it. My grandmother knew it. So anyway, I was in prison, and God began to show me this vision, because my mother was pastoring this church, where she was a pastor at this church that my grandmother was going to. And somehow, some way, she stopped doing that, and God allowed me to pick up the phone and talk to my mother when she called when I was in prison. And I began to tell her about that, about my vision or whatever the case might be. And I said, you know what? I said, it's crazy that sometimes God will give us something that somebody else is supposed to be doing so we can finish it off. And she was like, what did I mean by that? And I told her, I said, I believe I'm picking off from where you left off at. God using me to go ahead and to finish the race. You know what I'm saying? And she said, well, however God do it, son, just do whatever God called you to do. I'm not just saying that was just the case, but
right.
it kind of like speeded up my time, I believe. So anyway, I had the vision, and God was just showing me some stuff that how I was supposed to have been pastoring, and how people was being delivered when I was preaching, and how he was sending me back to Happy Time. Yeah, to preach the gospel to people.
Yep.
And so when I got out of prison, when I got out of prison the first time I went to prison, when I got out of prison, I started living by that. Then a temptation came so great upon me to where I didn't shake it. I fell in the hands of the enemy.
Okay.
But I picked myself back up, and I dusted off, and I kept striving to do right by God. So to make a long story short, it fast forwarded some more time after being introduced to cocaine, because I went from selling drugs to doing cocaine to,
of course,
you know what I'm saying?
He was gonna come back harder.
Yeah,
He didn't want you to come out.
Yeah.
He had to come. No, this mine. I had to come back and get him.
Right.
That's what it was.
That's what it was. And so I went back to prison again after being out for 2 months. I went back to prison again and got the same amount of time that I had the first time.
Wow. That's
The
God.
same exact time.
He wasn't playing with you.
Man, so
He was spanking you now.
yeah, right then. So when I got out that second time, God had put so much in me on that second time to where it was more like I had enough in me to know how to pray myself through. So when I got out and I fell again, I was going through this roller coaster. Like I would do something that I didn't want to do, but find myself praying. Like even in the street, like and God was like, I'm gonna let you have your fun. And I promise you this, how God spoke to me. He said, I'm gonna let you have your fun now, but before you go to sleep, you're gonna have a conversation with me that's gonna change your life. I didn't know when it was gonna be, But every time before I went to sleep, I was crying, boo-hoo, crying on my knees praying. And I went through that for I couldn't tell you how long I went through that. But he didn't even give me a date when I was going to change. But he allowed me to go through that. And now I understand why Paul said, when he asked God about the thorn in his flesh, and God didn't tell him when he's going to take it away. He said, but my grace is sufficient for you. So I might just leave this here because it's going to keep you on your face. And whatever I was going through, that's what I remember.
Wow.
Why I keep doing drugs, God, and I keep asking you to take it away from me? Why I keep drinking and I keep asking you to take it away from me? Because it's sufficient for you. This is what got you on your face. I'm not going to tell you when I'm going to take it away. But it's going to keep you on your face till one day you're going to understand why I kept this in you. And I didn't understand it. If I told somebody that, they would probably think I'm crazy. Oh, well, God ain't going to let you keep smoking and drinking. God ain't going to let you keep doing this. God ain't going to let you keep doing that. If it keep you on your face, you don't know what God will let you do. If it keep your relationship getting closer to God, if it keep your prayer life getting close to him, you don't know what God would do. Yep. That's why I tell people all the time, you don't know God until you think you just know him. Nobody knows God to where they just know him. Oh, I know God from the head to the feet. I don't know him like that. I'm getting to know him. But I know what God will do because he said, my grace is sufficient for you. So I know that God will leave something in the side of you that's going to keep you praying. And that's what kept me praying. And it built my prayer life to a time to where when change came, I already had a prayer life. So when I came into this thing, I was praying so hard, and every people looking at me like, you already know how to pray like that. How you know how to pray like that straight off the street? Because I did it in the street for years. But people didn't know that part. I stayed on my face praying, but I was struggling. I stayed on my face praying, but I was getting higher than the kite. I stayed on my face praying, but I was laying up with different women. I stayed on my face praying. Didn't want to live the life I was living, but I stayed on my face praying. Thinking about suicide, but I stayed on my face praying.
Jesus.
But my prayers got me to where I'm at right now. Because even in the street, I had a prayer life with God. And because of that, that's why I'm the man that I am today. That's how I became the man of God that I am today.
Yes, God. That's why they say you can't put your mouth on people.
You can't
you
put
don't
your
know
mouth
what
on
season God may have them in.
That's right.
Come on.
Wow.
That's right.
That's
right.
powerful.
And so me and my wife, we even met back then. She know about Happy Time because she came from Sawdust to Chattahoochee. She knew about Happy Time.
Yes.
We both was doing our own thing. She was selling drugs, I was selling drugs, but we going our separate ways. We were just friends then.
Okay.
She got a chance to, witness some things, whatever the case might be. And I just thank God
We
that
were young and playing at the time.
yeah, we were young and playing.
So you never knew that this would be going on because back then we were just
You were
doing our
17,
thing.
right? I was like 20.
Yeah, I was like 16, 17.
Yeah.
Oh,
and
y'all
I was
knew
like
each other
20.
for
Yeah.
Yeah.
We used to like mess around back
Yeah,
then
we just
Okay.
chill, yeah.
and just cut it off
And
when he
God
went to
put us
prison.
back together.
Wow.
Yeah.
Took two street people and put us back together. I'm gonna tell you how it happened.
We fought
Where
together.
And then sent you back to the street and said, now pull the rest of them out.
pull them
Look
out.
at them
So
together.
both of us, street
Together.
people, to
Oh
pull
my.
the rest of them out.
We fought together. When I tell you me and my husband fought together, I fought men's with him at the club. Straight men's. I'm going in
Yeah.
twice.
And now you can fight in the spirit.
In the spirit.
In the
Come
spirit.
on here.
Yes,
We're going to
my
fight
Lord.
these demons together. We're going to get it.
I love it.
Yes.
Yes.
I love
And
it.
so I thank God because I know my mom and my grandma was praying
Yes.
for me with my prayers alone. I understood. I understand now what I went through to get to where I'm at now. And I don't.
Powerful.
I don't take it. I don't take it for granted at all. That's why I don't judge people. Because I know that God can use anybody, and He said you never know if you're entertaining angels unaware. You do not know who is in your midst before we talk about them or judge them. You never know. And when I went through that, God told me that too. He spoke to me and he said, this why when you're going to become a pastor one day, and I don't want you to be judgmental. So what you're going through, and you see how people talking about you and how they judging you, he said, I don't want you to do what they doing to you. Because I'm going to raise you up and you're going to be a pastor. And I want you to have that same mindset.
That same compassion.
That same compassion
Wow.
for people. Have that compassion for those that talked about you. Those that said, oh, well, Jake back on cocaine again. Everybody saw me when I failed.
But then
Nobody saw me when I got up.
Wow.
Jake on cocaine
Wow.
again. Jake drinking again. Oh, Jake doing this, Jake doing that again. Now what are you saying? Are you saying, oh, Jake preaching again? Are you saying Jake pastoring? Are you saying that God is using Jake mightily and people are being delivered? Are you saying those things? Many people don't talk about those things. They talk about our negative, the negativity. Me and my wife, we had a background. So what? Everybody got one.
And people, they use that to this day. When I tell you they use that to this day.
What you did.
Yeah, what you did.
She used.
Something that God done brought us back from. Something that God done took us away from.
You know what I love about what you used to do? Is because if you never did what you used to do, if I'm struggling with that, how are you going to sit here and tell me to come out because you don't know how it was when I was there? So how you going to pull me out of something you ain't never been
You can't pull me out of something if you ain't never been there.
Lord
you can't pull me out.
I felt that.
And then together, I know y'all got chills running down my spine. I'm like, Lord, but...
Can I just tell you how God changed, like, our household?
Please do.
Listen, me and my wife, we was going to a club. We was going clubbing all the time. We was, like I said, we was hanging out. We always had, I was cooking out every day. We always had people at our house, like, selling drugs, and we was cooking out all the time and going to clubs that night. And so, but we started going to church, and sometimes the devil meant for your bad, God turned it around for your good.
Yes.
If we allow it to happen just that way. Because our intentions was good and we came with a pure heart.
Jesus.
So even though the ministry really wasn't for us, it was just enough for us to get to where we need to be at today. Yeah. So we started attending this church. And because we were so sincere, God started doing something. We stopped clubbing. Things started to fall off. We stopped clubbing. We stopped selling drugs. I stopped doing drugs. I started holding on. Marijuana was my last thing I was holding on. And God allowed me to get some kind of sickness. And my throat was hurting real bad. And my stomach. And I kept laying in the hot water. Remember that when I kept going through that? I kept going back and forth in the tub. Because that's the only time I felt good. If I laid down in the hot water. As soon as I got up, it started feeling like bad. And God began to minister to me, say, well, told me to take this weed away from you. I allowed this sickness to come upon you so you wouldn't want to smoke no more.
Wow.
So I still had like a quarter in my dresser and I still was trying to hold on to.
Oh my God.
But our people that stayed next door to us, I'm still trying to hold on to it. I said, you know what? Let me go on and give it up. I called them over there and gave it to them.
Wow.
And after still trying it, God just
took the taste.
Man, I woke up one morning, everything was gone.
The consuming fire.
The consuming fire.
Burnt
it all up.
Just hit y'all household.
Hit our household. Everybody changed. From me to my wife to my sister Diane. We stopped clubbing. All that. Everybody changed. And it brought a change to our kids because they seen the dramatic change. They was like, oh, y'all don't club no more? You don't drink no more?
By you guys together, decide. Now the head is so important.
Yes.
Because when that head line up, everything and everybody else line up. And because you guys decided to come together and give God your yes, the generational curses that you will be breaking and the generational blessings that's going to come through the different generations.
Yes.
As long as that yes keep coming, y'all, your bloodline is going to be so powerful.
My Lord, yes it is. Yes,
And
it
the
is.
lives that you guys are going to touch. Like,
And that's the truth. We have a 1, 2, and 3-year-old. When I tell you,
oh, wait, you said
Powerful.
1, 2, and y'all was busy.
listen, when
One,
I
two,
tell you
and three.
powerful, when I tell you powerful,
They powerful.
powerful. And we got older kids. The 8-year-olds, now she powerful. If she tell you something, you better put everything on it, gonna come to pass.
Yeah.
When I tell you she would walk up to you and she would scare you because she would go back into your childhood. God would,
Jesus.
yeah.
See?
When I
That
tell
power,
you,
when y'all
Power, yeah.
together, it's
Yeah.
like, I can tell when you walk by it's like, and this is just me imagining, like when you guys walk, your footsteps together as one, it's like it'll tremble the place, like it'll just trouble
Yes.
whatever area that you walk in as far as concerns with demons. They tremble
yeah.
by your footsteps just together. It's just so it's so much. It's like it's unexplainable, the power that you walk in and the authority that you walk in. It's unexplainable, and your testimonies just blew me away. I could sit here and listen to you guys all day
Yes,
and
ma'am.
talk with you all day. I thank you so much for being so open
Yes.
and being so honest and just sharing as pastors together in marriage
Yes.
and in ministry. Marriage and ministry together. I mean, I thank y'all so much.
Yes, ma'am.
And I pray that God continue to speak clearly to you guys and continue to just, God place a hedge of protection around their marriage and their family and their ministry, and allow them to keep walking in you,
Yes, God.
in your strength, and following your spoken and written word, and bless them through generations and generations to come in Jesus' name. Thank you guys for coming. I thank you. We want to hear back from you again. This has just been wonderful. I love it. I'm excited. How my pastor say, I'm excited about your future right
Yeah.
now. Apostle Otis B. Young.
Yeah.
His word is just resonating with you
Yeah.
guys. But again, thank you so much. I love you guys. I don't even know you, and I love you.
We love you.
But like I said, the coolest looking pastors on this side of Tallahassee.
Yeah.
But thank you guys for tuning in. My name is Tanisha Reese. Thank you for watching Kingdom Connections, and we will see you next time. Remember to be and stay blessed.
Yeah.